Okay, so today I'm gonna go over how to get the most out of the gym in the least amount of time. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first two go together. There's four main things. So the first one is doing drop sets. So if you don't know what a drop set is, it's pretty simple. It's you do your set. So let's say you were doing, let's say you're doing like a preacher curl, right? After doing your set of preacher curls, let's say you were doing 100 pounds, right? Once you like hit failure, you're gonna drop the weight and go to, let's say, 80 pounds and do like a few extra reps. So you're literally just going from whatever weight you're doing to less and cranking out some more reps. It's a very simple concept, but this is a great way to increase intensity while spending a few extra seconds on each set in the gym. So that is a massive thing to help you increase the intensity, because that's basically what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get the most out of your time in the gym and use it efficiently and be there for the least amount of time, then to do that, you just want to get as much intensity in pretty much. Okay, so now let's talk about supersets. So with a superset, what you're going to do is you're going to do one exercise, and then the second your set's done, if you want to give yourself a few seconds, like 5-10 seconds, whatever, do that. Then you're going to jump into a different exercise. So like a superset I've seen some people do is they'll bench press. So you're hitting your chest, primarily your triceps, secondarily. And then once their bench set is over, they'll put the bar down, immediately get up from the bench, drop, and start doing some push-ups. So that's like an example of a superset. I typically haven't done too many supersets. It's personally just not something I tend to do, but that's also because I'm not trying to be crazy efficient with my time in the gym. So any superset, like maybe if you're doing a lat pull down, you could do lat pull downs and then have dumbbells next to you or a cable next to you and do bicep curls after that. So you're hitting your back and your biceps this is at the same time. So those are supersets and drop sets are two different things where like you're doing something immediately after a set. Now, the other thing you do immediately after a set is rest. So quickly, if you're going to try and maximize your time in the gym, you're gonna need to time your rest more. So I had to do this when I was at a point where I only had 15 minutes a day to work out when I was student teaching. So I had to cap myself at 2 minutes rest no matter what. Like I could not do more than 2 minutes rest. And looking back on it, I actually could have optimized my rest a little more. So first off, as I said, you could just like cap off your rest there. You can have a max amount of time for resting. But another thing you can do is typically the larger the muscle, so like your legs, a very big muscle in your body, those are gonna take longer to recover rather than a smaller muscle like your bicep, right? So you could actually optimize your rest times that you plan on doing by the size of the muscle. So let's say like I hit legs and shoulders in the same day. So like a way I could optimize my rest for that workout would be maybe I'll do 2.5 minutes rest for my legs between each set, but maybe I'll only do like 60 to 90 seconds or like a minute and a half to do in between sets of shoulders because it's a smaller muscle. So you can kind of like tinker around with your rest and just change it, but an easy way to do it is to just limit your rest overall, because like I'll catch myself sometimes, I don't time my rest in the gym personally, but like sometimes I'll just sit there for like 5 minutes, like zoning out. And then I'll be like, oh wait, I forgot, like I am still lifting. And then I'll get back into it. But if you're trying to optimize your time in the gym, optimize your rest. Now, the last thing is volume. So what I mean by volume is total number of sets. So ideally, you want to be doing a minimum of 8 and maximum, there's a lot of like controversy on that, but typically I'd say somewhere around like 25. So we'll say 8 to 25. You want to do 8 to 25 working sets per muscle group per week. So let me break down what that actually means. So you want to do a working set, first of all, is a set where you're actually straining yourself. So like for example, when I'm benching, I start out with the bar. That's not a working set. Then I throw 135 on. That's not a working set for me. Then I throw 185 on and I do like 8 reps. That's not a working set. Then I move up to 205 or 225. Those are my working sets. Your top sets are your working sets. Now, if you do a burnout set at the end, like sometimes I'll do 205 for 2 sets and then I'll do like 185 for like a burnout set and just do as many reps as I can. That is a working set as well. But a working set is when you're training till failure or as close to failure as you plan on training to. So if that's like 1 or 2 reps in reserve, That's fine. Those are working sets. So let me go back to what I was saying before. You want to do 8 to 25 working sets per muscle per week. So in a 7-day span from Monday to Sunday, you want to do, obviously if you're trying to optimize, you're probably going to do less sets, but you have to figure out how much your body can do and how much you want to do, but it's per muscle group. So in case you don't know what that means 8 working sets of triceps, 8 working sets of biceps, chest, back, shoulders, legs, forearms, I don't know, whatever else I forgot. So that is pretty much what you're going to do. One quick thing is, I've heard some people say this, and I do relatively agree with it. If you're doing this just to get to 8, though, I probably wouldn't count it, is for muscles that are secondary in a movement. So I'll go back to the bench press we've been talking about. If you're doing a bench press, obviously those working sets count for your chest, but you can count those as like half a set for your triceps. So, or maybe like a third of a set for your triceps, right? So if you do, let's say 4 sets of bench, you could count that viably as like 1 or 2 sets of triceps. They've amassed enough usage through those 4 sets to equal at least like a set or 2. So obviously I said 8 to 25 per week. You can obviously, you're probably going to do somewhere on the lower end of that if you're trying to optimize your time in the gym. In my personal opinion, I wouldn't go below 10 to 12 though. I do feel 8 is a little low. I feel like 8's closer to just maintaining rather than growing. So I would at least try and do more than that. But if you truly think you're hitting your muscles with good intensity and not doing a lot of volume in the gym, good for you. So another way you could reduce time in the gym, kind of based off volume, would be it depends on what's more important to you, reducing the number of sessions per week or reducing the amount of time per session. Because you could have 3 lifts a week that are maybe like an hour and a half to be able to get all this volume in, but then kind of just be done for the week. Or maybe you could do 6 lifts a week or 5 lifts a week, but be there for a shorter amount of time. Overall, it's probably going to equate to a similar amount of time on the overall week, but that's more up to personal preference. So these are 4 of the best ways to be able to maximize your time in the gym and get the most out of it while spending the least amount of time there. I know for some of you that's important. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you can kind of optimize your lifts a little bit here and save yourself some time in the gym. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next Sunday at 5 p.m. Catch you there.